Hello everybody, and today is July 1st, 2008. Welcome to Enjoy the Movies, where I put in my 2 cents about movies. Sorry to say I've been really slow on all the updating, but a lot of things have happened in my life. So one of the things is I'm no longer going to be working at Blockbuster. Put in my 2 weeks last weekend, and this upcoming weekend is going to be my last weekend there. So if there are any regular customers who are watching this and they want to come visit me, this weekend would be the weekend. So yeah, anyway, so moving on, got lots of movies to catch up with. Saw a bunch of movies in the theater, none of which I'm going to go over right now for this particular episode, but the ones I'm going to talk about today are Rails and Ties, FoolGold, BeKindRewind, and the BucketList. So if you guys are pretty much keeping up, if you're hardcore movie fans, you'll know that they all came out in the last like 4 weeks or so. Actually in the last 2 or 3 weeks, but anyway, needless to say, bunch of movies to review. So, let's just jump right in and start with Rails and Ties. I kind of watched this movie in 2 pieces. I was away in Virginia, so I watched a little bit one day and then went to bed, woke up, watched the rest of it the next day, and it was a pretty good movie. Now, let me just say, Rails and Ties, it stars Kevin Bacon. He plays a serious role of a husband with a wife who has a disease, and I'm not sure if they present it to you early on in the beginning, but I'll leave it for you guys to be a surprise. And he's a train engineer. Pretty much the premise of the movie is, as a train engineer, he drives his train, and one day he comes across a situation where a mom with a son parks her car on the train track. And needless to say, she wanted it there, so pretty much in the first 10 or so minutes of the movie, this train rams right into her car and basically kills her. So that's pretty much where the movie starts. Now, the son of the woman in the car, he makes it out okay, because he's like maybe 10 or so. And he goes on this strange little vendetta, but pretty much as the rest of the movie progresses along, it's a very interesting dynamic in how these people kind of interact together. And I thought it was very good, very well done drama movie. I won't lie, there are a lot of slow parts of this movie. Pretty much the entire movie is just a drama. There's nothing else in this movie. But it's very well done, great acting, great story. I liked it a lot, and I definitely recommend, definitely worth a watch. It's called Rails and Ties. Next movie I want to talk about is FoolGold. Now, this was probably one of the biggest romantic comedies to come out around the time in terms of DVDs, because there was like nothing else coming out at that time. I think the only other one was Definitely Maybe. I'm not sure if I reviewed that yet, but if not, wait, let me see. No, I'll review that later, because that comes later in my list. But anyway, so FoolGold is pretty much this romantic comedy, slightly offbeat, a little bit different sense of humor. And I really felt that FoolGold, even though the premise was different, it's pretty much a cookie-cutter romantic comedy. It stars Matthew McConaughey, or as I like to pronounce his last name, McConaughey. But anyway, so I digress. And Kate Hudson, the attractive Kate Hudson. And I pretty much watched it just because I felt that it was a big movie that I thought people would be talking about, so I watched it. That, and I was with company, so they ended up watching it too. Anyway, or she. Needless to say, this movie is pretty much fun and enjoyable if you like this kind of genre, but there's nothing new and original. It's pretty much just your stereotypical romantic comedy with some quirks. I mean, it's not too serious, but a little bit. It's not too bad. But honestly, I don't think it's that great a movie. It's just amusing to watch, and that's pretty much it. So, but if you like that sort of thing, go with it, of course. Anyway, next movie I want to talk about is BeKindRewind. Now, there are a lot of trailers that I saw of this movie before I actually watched the movie. For those of you who don't know what it's about, it's this movie starring Jack Black and Mos Def. And Mos Def plays this video store employee. Now, the video store he works for is pretty much this small, privately owned video store, and it only rents videotapes in a world of, DVD. But Jack Black, through some antics, becomes magnetized, and as he walks into the store, he erases all of the videotapes. So pretty much the premise of this movie was they had to film all of the tapes again. Now, just watching the trailers, I thought it was just going to be full all-out comedy. But when watching the actual movie, it is just a drama with some funny parts to it. Like, there's some really weird offbeat parts, but there's no slapstick humor. It's all tongue-in-cheek humor. Well, except for that one scene near the beginning. But we won't talk about that because you'll see it. I hope. Anyway, needless to say, I thought it was a very good movie. Definitely recommend. It's very well done. But if you're looking for comedy, this is probably not what you're going to be looking for. This is more of just a good story, great acting. I really like the dynamics between characters, the environment. I don't know. It's just a beautiful movie to watch. Now, especially if you're an independent film person, you'll definitely have a great appreciation for Be Kind Rewind. So, definitely recommend Be Kind Rewind. Alright, last movie I want to talk about is The Bucket List. Now, this movie I thought was a very good movie as well. I'll just preface that right now. I mean, when you see a movie and it has Jack Nicholson and Morgan Freeman, honestly, what are you going to think? You're probably going to think, oh, that's two great actors, what are you going to do? Or at least, if you were me. If you were somebody else, you know how I feel about some people and how they can't watch movies because certain people are in them, yada, yada, yada. Whatever. So you could be missing out on great movies. Just watch the damn movie. Alright, so, I digress. Bucket List. It's a drama movie starring these two men through a series of, I'm not sure if you want to say unfortunate or fortunate events, but they come together in a hospital bedroom, and they get to talking, and they're both, older gentlemen, so they talk about perhaps death, and one of the characters brings up, oh hey, if you had to make a list of things you do, before you die, what would they be? And he explained how it was this idea from one of his old teachers. It's like, oh yeah, you have to make a bucket list. A what? A bucket list. It's a list of things that you want to do before you kick the bucket. So, that's pretty much where this movie is going. Needless to say, it is an excellently well-crafted, well-done movie. There's great acting, great actors, great story. It is mostly a drama. There's a few funny parts. Only if you're into that I can't speak. If you're into tongue-in-cheek humor, so it's very subtle, kind of witty. But I liked it a lot. So definitely recommend Bucket List. Thumbs up. You have to watch that one. So let's review Rails and Ties, FoolGold, not so much, Be Kind Rewind, and The Bucket List. Although some of these movies just aren't what you anticipated what they would be because of trailers and such. But, well, hopefully that was enough. I've been trying to work on my articulation so I don't say as much. Hopefully you've noticed, and if not, maybe next time. Anywho, enjoy the movies. Have a good night.